Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself, okay? So what kind of place is your hometown?
My hometown is small countryside in Vietnam.
So what do young people do for entertainment in your hometown?
Young people in my countryside, usually play jumping ropes or house.
Right? What is the worst thing about living in your hometown and why?
Uh, in here, in this area, because I am scared of them.
Alright, so some questions about tourism in your country, okay? Now, what should a visitor see and do in your country?
Can you speak?
Alright, what should a visitor see and do in your country? The tourist.
Visitor can see the what the happening because it's very exciting and unique.
Alright. So, are there any traditional art or music that you would recommend and why? You want to introduce the water?
Water happening.
Yeah, why?
Oil music because it's unique and very exciting to
That's it. Now, tell me about the kind of visitor who come to your country.
visitor to come my country is foreigner.
Foreigners. Right. So let's move and talk about being on time for appointments, okay? Is being late acceptable in your culture? Why or why not? Alright. Is being late acceptable in your culture? Why or why not? For example, you are late at school. Is that acceptable in your culture?
No,
No. Why?
because it's a bad habit.
Alright. Are you ever late for appointments? Why or why not?
Yes, because I forgot my appointment.
What type of excuses do you think are alright for lateness?
I think you have a shop, but you can.
Alright, so let's move to the next question. How do you feel when someone is late for an appointment with you?
I feel annoyed.
Annoying. Alright, so let's move to the part 2 question. You are going to describe an important event in your life. Okay, you should say when it happened, who you were with, and what happened. Okay, then you will going to describe an important event in your life.
When I was 2 years old, I had burned in the eye. And at this time, I said I was staying with my grandfather. think it's really important because it's
Alright, so let's move to part 3, okay? We've been talking about a teacher who has influenced you in your education, and now I like to ask you some questions related to this. First, we'll look at developments in education. Now, has education in your country changed in the last 10 years?
I think education education in my country is more modern because it have many modern teaching facility.
Facilities. Alright, what changes do you think will happen in the future?
I think students will have more activity and do work doing drawing.
Alright. What changes would you recommend to improve the education system? Alright. What changes would you recommend to improve the education system?
I think I will student do more activity.
Alright. So now let's look at the national education system. How do the ambitions of current school leavers compare with those of the previous generation?
They more little.
Right? What role do you think extracurricular activities play in education? All right. What is the role of the school in modern society? All right. So now we start.